The content of this podcast is provided for general informational purposes only and is not intended as, nor should it be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. Hello, this is Karen Nickel, family nurse practitioner, and you are listening to Itchy and Bitchy, a podcast that provides answers to your many unanswered health questions. I have spoken to many of you listeners out there about the comprehensive online course I have created to help address the symptoms that so many women experience in their 30s, 40s, and early 50s. It has been an absolute kick to get to know some of you wonderful people, and I would love to have the opportunity to talk to more of you about the course to see if it is the right fit for you. There is a link on our website, itchyandbitchy.com, and on our Facebook page, INB Podcast, where you can schedule an appointment for a Zoom call with me. Again, this is a Zoom call with me. It is not a webinar. So when you make an appointment, I will be sitting at my desk waiting for you to join the one-on-one Zoom call. Most of our listeners are female and perimenopausal or menopausal, so not necessarily in the time of life when you're having children, but I want to talk to you today about the new oral medication that the FDA has recently approved for the treatment of postpartum depression, since it is likely that you know someone of childbearing years who might benefit from knowing this information. Postpartum depression, also labeled PPD, affects up to 1 in 7 moms and actually 1 in 10 dads. This serious and potentially life-threatening illness is the most common complication for women who have just had a baby, according to the March of Dimes. Unfortunately, the numbers of those diagnosed with PPD are increasing. The number of women diagnosed at delivery has increased 7-fold between the years of 2000 and 2015. There are 10 risk factors that are reliable predictors for developing postpartum depression. Depression during pregnancy, which may be the strongest predictor for later suffering from PPD. Anxiety during pregnancy. A history of previous depression, although not as strong a predictor as a depressive episode during the pregnancy, it appears that women with histories of depression previous to conception are also at higher risk of PPD than those without. Someone who has maternity blues, especially when severe, the blues may be the first step before the onset of PPD. Recent stressful life events, inadequate social supports, a poor marital relationship. One of the most consistent findings is that among women who report marital dissatisfaction and/or inadequate social supports, postpartum depressive illness is more common. Low self-esteem, childcare stress, if you have other children in the home, that is that extra stress of raising those children while pregnant and right after delivery make you more susceptible to PPD. Difficult infant temperament is another factor. 3 more risk factors that are less reliable as a predictor for developing PPD, but are often seen in women with PPD, especially when combined with 1 or more of the 10 risk factors I just listed. These risk factors are being a single woman, having an unplanned or unwanted pregnancy, and having lower socioeconomic status. So what are some of the symptoms of postpartum depression? And there are a lot of them. You don't have to have all of them, but there are a lot of varied symptoms that people can have. And those include depressed mood or severe mood swings, excessive crying, difficulty bonding with the baby, withdrawing from family and friends, a loss of appetite or eating much more than usual, inability to sleep or sleeping too much, overwhelming fatigue or loss of energy, reduced interest and pleasure in activities that you usually enjoy, intense irritability or anger, fear that you're not a good mother, hopelessness, feelings of worthlessness, shame, guilt, or inadequacy, diminished ability to think clearly, concentrate, or make decisions, that heavy brain fog, restlessness, severe anxiety and panic attacks, thought of harming yourself or your baby, or recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. Possible causes of postpartum depression and the new treatment are up next after this break. Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal kit company. Green Chef makes eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, including keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just a more balanced meal option. Do you feel like you need some guidance about how to put clean eating into your life? Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitian. Who can pass that up, really? Have you been thinking about eating a vegan diet but just don't know where to start? Check out Green Chef's Vegan Kickoff that offers brand new limited time options like Yummalicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and side dishes. If you have been striving to reduce calories and up your protein intake, Green Chef has recipes that are under 700 calories and meals that are protein-packed that contain at least 40 grams of protein. I'm telling you, they have it all. At our home, we eat Green Chef meals 3 times a week, and my husband and I have loved every recipe, and we keep track of the ones that we feel are extraordinary so we can be on the lookout to order them in the future. We also love that the meals are easy and convenient. Go to greenchef.com/itchy50 and use code itchy50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Go to greenchef.com/itchy50 and use code itchy50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. Welcome back, everyone. The cause of postpartum depression is actually not known. However, genetics may play a role in making someone more vulnerable to developing PPD. One study that included 328 people found that if one sibling had an episode of postpartum major depression, there was a 4-fold increased risk of an episode in another sibling. And also, hormonal changes can play a role in developing this devastating illness. These changes include decreases in estrogen and progesterone, as well as changes that involve cortisol, melatonin, oxytocin, and thyroid hormone. So a lot of hormone shifting going on immediately after delivery of a baby. Also, rapid depletion of the neurotransmitters called dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin after the birth of the baby may lead to depression. So until now, there's only been one treatment specifically for PPD that was approved by the FDA in 2019. Brexanolone, which is brand name Zulresso, was the first FDA-approved med specifically for PPD. This med is administered by IV, so intravenously, over 60 hours or 2.5 days, 2.5 days. The med must be given in a certified healthcare facility where patients are monitored consistently because of the potentially serious side effects, specifically the sudden loss of consciousness. In studies, women experienced a greater reduction in symptoms at 60 hours than those in the study who were taking a placebo. And those receiving the medication in the study reported feeling better generally as far out as 30 days following the administration of brexanolone. This month, August of 2023, the FDA approved the first medication specifically for PPD that is in a pill form that is taken at home and can be prescribed by the OBGYN or certified nurse midwife who are providing care during the pregnancy. So, this medication is much easier to prescribe and much easier to take than brexanolone. The medication is zuranolone, brand name Zurzuvae. I know they keep coming up with good ones. Zurzuvae. The dosing is 1 50 milligram pill a day for 14 days, and some patients in the study saw benefit in as early as 3 days. Many women had sustained benefit from the med at 45 days following the dosing, and the study only followed the women for 45 days. It is not known exactly how the med works, but it is a neuroactive steroid and works on GABA receptors in the brain. It is thought that the med helps with stress management deep within the brain. And many of you have probably heard of GABA as a supplement. GABA is a neurotransmitter that produces a calming effect. So Zurzuvae doesn't produce more GABA. It works at the site of the GABA receptor, which responds to the presence of GABA. The good news is that antidepressants like SSRIs, Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, Lexapro, can be taken along with Zurzuvae to provide both short-term and long-term symptom relief. So the Zurzuvae helps immediately and for a short term, and then the antidepressants like an SSRI can provide help long-term. The side effects observed during the study of Zurzuvae were mild to moderate, with the most common side effects being drowsiness, dizziness, diarrhea, fatigue, cold-like symptoms, and UTIs. The medication has what we call a black box warning, and it is instructing women not to drive or operate heavy machinery for at least 12 hours after taking the pill. It is also recommended that the pill be dosed in the evening with a fatty meal, which means 400 to 1,000 calories with at least 25 to 50% fat. And healthy fats like avocado, fatty fish, and nuts are recommended over animal fats, and that's just for general health benefits. Zurzuvae is present in low levels in the breast milk of women taking the med. There is no data on the effects of the med on the breastfed infant or on milk production. And since it's a 14-day treatment, it is possible that providers will recommend that women use a breast pump and discard the milk and feed the baby formula during the treatment period and then resume breastfeeding after the treatment. That's just commonly what we do with medications that come through the breast milk, and we just don't know what the effect is on the baby. That's not a recommendation that's been posted for this medication, but is likely one to be made. The medication may also cause harm to the fetus when taken by a pregnant woman, so it is advised that women use effective contraception during treatment and for 1 week following treatment. Zurzuvae is a controlled substance, which means that it has abuse potential if used for longer than the recommended period of time. So if you have a history of substance misuse, talk to your provider about whether zuranolone is a safe option for you. Zuranolone, like other antidepressants, may increase the risk of suicidal thoughts while you're taking it, so it's important to contact your healthcare provider right away if depression symptoms worsen or suicidal thoughts occur. However, this symptom was not observed during the study. If at any point after delivery, you or someone you know has thoughts of self-harm or harm to the baby, immediately seek help by calling 911 or your local emergency assistance number. So this medication should be available to the public sometime between October and December of 2023. The cost of the med is yet to be determined. Sage Therapeutics, who will be producing the Zurzuvae, has said that they will keep the drug price under $10,000 if the medication is also approved for major depressive disorder in addition to treatment for PPD, postpartum depression. Brexanolone, the IV treatment for PPD, is currently priced at $34,000. With numbers of cases of this serious illness rising, having a new treatment option that doesn't require IV infusions and an inpatient stay is an important treatment step for women suffering from postpartum depression, even if there are remaining unknowns regarding the medication. Since I've been covering a topic that includes ideas of suicide, I want to remind you that if you are having thoughts of suicide or are concerned about someone who might be having suicidal thoughts, call or text 988 for help. Call or text 988 for help. Another resource is the National Maternal Mental Health Hotline that is available 24/7 to help you with suicidal thoughts or other mental health crises. You can reach them by calling 1-833-943-5746. And it might be a little bit easier to remember that it's 1-833-9-HELP-4-MOMS. And the 4 is the number 4. So 1-833-9-HELP-4-MOMS. Many thanks to Green Chef for sponsoring today's episode. I encourage you to visit our Facebook page, IMB Podcast, where you can leave comments or questions for me. Our website is itchyandbitchy.com. There are blogs on the site with some of our subjects available for you to read, and I've been updating that recently, so check it out. On the Facebook page and website, we have the information about how to schedule an appointment with me. It's not a webinar, so we can chat about how my perimenopause course can help you if you are going through this phase of life. As always, thanks to Forrest Wenzel, our producer and composer of our theme music, and the person who does all the behind-the-scenes work that makes this all possible. Thank you for listening, and remember that your health is in your hands. See you next time.